Welcome to the Tournament Center. I'm Randy Buehler here with Brian David Marshall.
Hey.
Wow. Round 15 was just chaos.
I'm out of breath.
Yeah, you take a look at the scene. There was pushing, there was shoving around the feature match. Nobody knew what was going on. I've never seen a top 8 where there were 12 people in contention in the last round and none of them drew. Not one intentional draw. They just played it out. I mean, the Japanese were up to something, right?
Well, the Japanese were running a flying wedge.
Okay.
They all locked arms and they ran in formation to block for Katsuhiro Mori.
Right.
Who was playing Saito.
Yeah, it was weird. It's like Katsuhiro versus Saito, but they're blocking for Katsu. I don't know exactly what's going on.
I don't know exactly what's going on. I asked Kenji about it.
Yeah.
And Kenji said, I said, oh, who are you pulling for here? Because it wasn't clear at the time. He said, I'm definitely rooting for Katsuhiro. If Katsuhiro lost the match before I was done, I would have conceded.
So Usawa and Kenji were the only two people that were through to the top 8 going in the last round. They both decided to play. They tried to play Dream Wrecker in order to get Katsu through. Usawa got the job done. He took out Willie Edel. Turns out Edel makes the top 8 anyway. Right. Kenji Sumura got his job done. He had to dispatch the Rookie of the Year, Sebastian Thaler, and Thaler was just devastated.
It was the second game we were watching. It looked like Thaler was devastated, but he was sandbagging.
Yeah, he was sandbagging.
He got back in the game, but yeah,
Bargain and Rager out of nowhere.
Draining Welk, etc.
But the third game, I'm watching Kenji, and Thaler is, he can feel it. He's playing for top 8, and by the way, Thaler, he got to 32 points with 2 rounds to go. He just needed to win one of the last 2. Loss, and now here he is playing against Kenji the feature match. It's like, Kenji, scoop me in, please. Kenji's already in. He could just concede.
And he and Kenji are friends.
Yeah. Kenji travels around the world. He knows Sebastian. But, the Japanese have this pact. If there's a way that they can get another guy through to the top 8, they play it out. They don't play nice. They play to try to get another guy in. So, Thaler goes dragon, and Kenji is just totally stoic, just clinical. He's, cradle to grave. And, Thaler is just, slumps his shoulders.
The crowd
just recoils. And Kenji's completely stoic, just cutthroat, precise, crisp, devastating play, almost heartless, one might say.
Yes.
And then he untaps and mind stabs him. There goes the last 3 cards out of Thaler's hand,
which were all just solid cards that he was hoping to get into play.
And Kenji's just completely stoic, clinical, and the assassin in form. Game ends a turn or 2 later. Harold just draws a card. He throws 2 land on the table. He's done. And then Kenji started to feel bad.
He had the slip.
Yeah, he was thinking about it when he was filling out the slip.
And his hand wavered. He was, and I talked to him later.
He was upstairs just genuinely
heartbroken. Heartbroken was the word, yes, definitely used.
He did what he was supposed to do for his boys. He played it out, but you could tell he did not relish the role of bad guy. He did not actually want to be the Dream Wrecker.
Sure, and he was definitely the villain. Playing that match, he was, like you said, cold-hearted dispatch.
Calculating. So that was the story in the last round. Katsuhiro won the match. He beat Saito, but he's out on breakers. Katsuhiro wound up 9th on tiebreakers. He was the only guy on 34 points to miss. The top 8, though, awesome top 8. Let's take a look at these guys. Takuya Usawa, the number 1 seed, had just an awesome weekend. 40 points. Pro Tour Prague champion. Now, he's proven it was no fluke. He's come back. Here's another limited. He's the next limited. Well, there was Kobe, but now 2 out of 3 limited Pro Tours through to the top 8. Looks legit. Set number 2 seed. Look at the next slide. There's Kenji Sumura. Kenji just had an awesome weekend. He was on top of the standings the whole way.
He keeps getting stronger.
This is top 8 number 5 now.
This is right. He is now in legitimate Hall of Fame territory.
Yeah.
Five Pro Tour top 8s.
He has not won one yet.
But he has not won one. That's what I was going to say.
It's time for him to win one, really.
But, he also, a first for him this weekend, when he was seated at table 1.
He never drafted a pod 1 before?
He had never been seated at table 1 in a limited Pro Tour before.
Clearly has gotten the 40 cards.
I think this is weekend.
The 3 seed, yet another Japanese player. This one is Shingu Kurihara. Now,
I don't know very much about this guy.
I went to Keita Mori. Keita is our Japanese coverage specialist. I was like, what's the story? Who is this guy? Keita said simply, he is next. All the players in Tokyo already know this guy. He's been playtesting with the Tokyo crowd. They all know he's awesome.
Interesting to point out, the Tokyo crowd now includes Kenji Sumura.
Yeah.
Kenji was in Hiroshima with Oiso, but Oiso is not here this weekend and is preparing for school and taking care, moving into this, very dignified adult life, and but Kenji had to go to Tokyo, and Osawa, Samura, Kurihara, Mori, Saito. That's, by the way, in case you're counting, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 9th, and 17th.
Yep.
All practiced together for this format. And Mahara.
16th.
16th.
Like the world champ, by the way, another guy proving that he's no fluke. He put up a top 16 here. Very running. Impressive.
Yeah.
So Kurihara is allegedly next. Everybody in Japan already knows he's good. We actually got a top 8 in Columbus. Next guy, Marin Lebart. Sort of the least known name in the top 8, a Belgian player. You said he's been to probably 8 Pro Tours?
8 Pro Tours, never made it through to a day 2 until Kobe.
Okay.
So last limited Pro Tour.
Right.
And, everything's about Kenji.
Yes.
So he's looking forward to a rematch in the finals against Kenji. He made it to the finals of Grand Prix Toulouse. This is his best performance in his career, where he lost to Kenji.
Yeah, but Kenji won Grand Prix Toulouse.
Yes.
Nice. The 5 seed, Jim Harold. Now here's a name that a lot of people may not know, but he's actually got quite a remarkable career on the Grand Prix circuit. This is the first guy to ever win 3 Grand Prix. Like, it's a kind of a fashionable thing to do now, right? Kai's done it, several of the Japanese players have done it. Jim Harold was the first. He won 2 Grand Prix in the late 90s. He won a team Grand Prix right after the turn of the century, and hasn't really had the breakout performance on the Pro Tour, but 3 Grand Prix wins is pretty damn impressive.
And it played fantastically all weekend. He was fun to watch.
Yeah.
Speaking of
fun to watch, Mike Cron. Now here's a guy who was sort of a fixture on the Pro Tour, 5, 6, 7 years ago, sort of part of that Madison crowd, Bob Maher, Adrian Sullivan, those guys.
Right.
Played a lot with
Brian
them.
Colwall, who was here and helped him prepare for this event.
So H-Ron, as they call him.
Also, you might remember him from Pro Tour Rebels.
Sure.
Where he finished 9th.
Oh.
And that's his best finish on the Pro Tour.
Finally got the breakthrough to the top 8. Played
half a decade later or more.
The 7th seed, there's Willie Edel.
Wow, Willie Edel.
If you don't count Worlds as a Pro Tour, it's kind of negotiable, right? Is Worlds a Pro Tour? Is Worlds not a Pro Tour?
You know what? Let's count Worlds as a Pro Tour. He finished in the top 16. He was playing for top 8 in the last round. Let's count the.
If you don't count it, he's got 3 top 8s in a row, including second place. Right? He's finished second in each of the last 2 regular Pro Tours. That's crazy. Charleston seems like a while ago, but he's gone second. What did he finish at Worlds?
He finished top 16. I don't remember exactly where. I think it's 14th or 15th.
Yeah. This guy's for real.
And he's playing with a little bit of anger.
He feels like he's got something to prove.
He does.
He did throw away Kobe on Moritz Merkel.
He did throw away Kobe, and he's had kind of a public feud with Gadiel Slifer.
Sure.
Gadiel, called him out and was kind of mean about some stuff from Charleston. And Willie's like, I don't know. Gadiel made a mistake. That's how he lost in Charleston. And since then, he hasn't made day 2. I've gone second, top 16, top 8. So, maybe,
That's one way to win a feud.
Yeah.
The last guy in the top 8, the guy who was on the bubble, who edged out Katsuhiro Mori.
How happy he is.
Very happy about it. Irvin Tormos. He has a good time playing Magic. He hams it up, has a great time, beats himself up with his mistakes. His emotions are on his sleeve, whether he's happy or sad. And he's happy.
He got in on a little bit of a gamble.
Yeah, he was playing in the last round. He wasn't sure if the draw was good enough because it was all the Katsuhiro Mori shenanigans, right? All the Japanese players trying to block.
No one could draw safely.
So he wins the first game. He loses the second game, a game he probably should have won. There's a couple plays that he would have done differently in retrospect.
It's hard to pin down where exactly is the
So
most crucial.
He's playing against Marin Lebart, draws his opening hand in game 3, and he looks at it and he's like, I'm going to have to mulligan. You know what? I like my chances of drawing in better than my chances of winning off the mulligan. Draw? Lebart doesn't know he's going to mulligan. Draw? They took the draw, and it worked. He gambled. He got in. He's the number 8 seed, and that's 2 Americans.
It was no loss for Lebert to take the draw.
Oh, Lebert knew the draw was in.
Yeah, he was in.
asked him the whole time, can we draw? Can we draw? Can we draw now? Can we draw now?
And then leaves Mori out on 9th.
And Mori winds up 9th. Yeah, there's your top 8. Those guys are going to be duking it out tomorrow. They're going to be playing for $40,000. They're going to be playing for a Pro Tour title, for a heaping helping of pro points, and the lead in the Player of the Year race.
Little Pro Tour history.
Absolutely. You and I are going to be here doing the comments. The draft starts at 11 a.m. local time. So in Europe, that's 11 a.m. East Coast of the U.S. We'll start 10:45 for the pregame. So that's more like 4:45 on the East Coast.
Sure.
Set your alarm.
Just get up.
At West Coast, it's 1:45. Just stay up. Watch the draft. Maybe take a nap over the lunch break.
Okay.
This was a crazy day.
It's been a great weekend.
It's been a cool Pro
It's been
Tour.
really exciting. And again, it's the same thing as in Paris. There seems to be this real energy about Magic here. There are 120 teams. Not 120 players, 120 teams, 240 players, maybe closer to 250, playing in the two-headed giant PTQ right now.
Wow.
Including some huge names. You know, like Pro Tour players are all playing. Things are going to go on until 3 this morning. We have great Magic artists here. We have RK Post. We have Jeff Miracola. Yep. People are getting stuff signed. There's going to be more PTQs tomorrow.
Fun time to be a Magic player.
It's been an exciting weekend. There's this great set again. Whitney has just done an outstanding job making this show look great. So
that's the word from Geneva. 2 days in the books. All we've got left is one top 8 to determine the Pro Tour Geneva champion. We will see you guys tomorrow. Signing off for the Tournament Center. For Brian David Marshall, I'm Randy Buehler.